My 27M daughter's mom, 28F, gave birth 4 months ago but hasn't left yet. This whole thing is a bit crazy, but it all started a little over a year or so ago. I met my daughter's mom, S, and we sort of became FWB. Well, it was all fun and games until she found out she was pregnant. Like myself, S is a very independent person. And at first she told me she was thinking about getting an abortion as she didn't want to take on the responsibility of being a parent yet. Now, I know I'm gonna catch some flack for this, but while I don't care what anybody else does, personally I'm pro-life and asked if she would reconsider. After some discussion we decided that she would give birth and I would take over as the sole parent. After she signs away her parental rights, I made sure to handle all expenses, and when her pregnancy started to progress, I moved her into my guest room so I could help in case anything came up. While we were strictly platonic since our deal, we were still friendly with each other and did our best to support each other. 4 months ago, S gave birth to our daughter, and I know it's weird, but as soon as I held her I knew she was mine and had made the right choice, while a paternity test later confirmed my feelings. S continued to live with me so she could recover and be part of the essential postpartum steps. The thing is, it's been over 4 months since she gave birth and she hasn't given any sort of indication of leaving. What's weird is that during the earlier part of her pregnancy she was counting down the days until birth so she could get on with her life, and now, 4 months later, she still hasn't. This might be a bit selfish, but I don't want her to stay too long since I'm worried that she'll form a relationship with my daughter and it will make it that much harder on her when S leaves. I kind of gently nudged her the question the other day and she just smiled at me and said something like, "I don't really have to go now. Unless you want me to." I obviously told her that she was welcome to stay as long as she wanted and laughed it off. But as my daughter is growing, my worries that I stated above are becoming worse. Any advice here? Why haven't you sat down for a plain conversation about this instead of relying on her coy answers? Do you want to stay in our daughter's life? Do you expect to keep living here? What custody arrangement are you comfortable with? Do you still want to give your parental rights up? Are we romantically together? You had a baby together. Surely you can ask these questions. You should tell her you are happy your daughter has a mother. But what you do not want is for her get bonded to her if she plans to still give up her rights and exit her in your life. Therefore, you should tell her you would like her to make some decision for the sake of your child. Tell her you can see she loves your daughter, so you suspect she will want to be in her life. But you still need to hear she is willing to officially declare her commitment. This is because your daughter does not deserve to be abandoned. BTW. How do you feel about S? It would be ideal for your child to have a full family. So if both of you feel good about each other, you should at least begin a relationship. I don't really have to go. This is her saying she wants to be a family without actually saying it. Hoping you'll take the hint and keep her there. You need to talk. Now. Remind her of your agreement and that you think it's time she left. This is on you. She's happy to stay, and the longer she does, the harder it will be to get her to leave. Have to say though, the arrangement bothers me and I suspect she's changed her mind. A kid should have both parents if it's at all possible, but this is not for me to judge. Time to have the classic, "What are we?" conversation lol. Maybe she wants to be in the child's life now. Maybe she wants to co-parent. You have to ask her. Time to start asking questions, my dude. It's extremely common for women who originally thought that they did not want a child or were even thinking of giving the child up after birth to change their minds once the baby is born. No matter how certain they seemed during the pregnancy. This is one of the reasons adoptions fall through all the time. I know this isn't that. I'm just saying things can change once the baby is here. It happens to men too. I can't even count how many guys I know who swore they didn't want kids or weren't going to have anything to do with an unplanned child being born, who fell head over heels in love the moment they saw the baby. She's not a professional surrogate, so she probably does have love for her child. But you don't mention anything about her stability, productivity as a person. It's unclear where she was living that she was able to break a lease or whatever to move in with you for months on end. Obviously, if you're going to end up co-parenting this child, it's in your best interest to guide her through the process of being able to earn a living and finding somewhere else to live. But this is pretty uncharted territory, so it's hard to know what would be fair in this circumstance. Listen, you have to be direct. It has been 4 months since our daughter was born. Previously, you stated that you would give up your rights to her and we would part ways. Since our daughter has been born, you have chosen to stay and maintain a relationship with her and myself. I would like to either 1. Enter a relationship with you, where we can be a couple and raise our daughter together. 2. Enter into a co-parent relationship and we raise our child together that way. 3. You leave within the next 2 months and give up your rights to our daughter. I do not want you to feel like I'm putting you on the spot, but given everything that has happened, I want to have good and clear communication between us. And you just go from there. No gentle pushes or dancing around. This needs to be ironed out for all 3 of you. Maybe you should have an honest conversation with her, instead of flippantly telling her, "You're welcome to stay for as long as you want." Because, I promise you, what she heard was, "You can stay as long as you want." She did not hear that, "You can leave any time," that you were subconsciously implying. Did you actually think this through before coercing a woman into having a baby she didn't initially want? Congrats for pushing your beliefs onto someone. You now have to be a big boy and have the big boy convos and deal with the reality that life doesn't exist in a pro-life vacuum. You say you're pro-life but don't understand the complexities of life as it comes with child rearing and mother's feelings? You think carrying a baby to term on someone else's behest stops a chemical and emotional bond between a mother and child? Did you do psych evaluations on your baby's mother as time went on? Did you check her mental and emotional attachments? Is this her first child? Is your baby mom a professional surrogate, or is this her first child and you're treating her like a breeding sow because of your beliefs and you thought cutting ties for her would be easy? Did she sign the papers already? Is the deal still in effect? Is there a job still waiting for her? Did she have to leave her job? Was she compensated in the agreement to lose job hours? There's so much missing information on a humanitarian level in this post. What advice are you looking for? That strangers in Reddit not knowing the mother's situation will tell you to boot her? Man believes a woman is decent, a sex without strings partner, then views her as a successful incubator. Now upset the empty vessel that birthed a human being may grow attached. I am very worried about you being the sole provider for a young woman for multiple reasons. Yes, the mother of your kid signed her rights away. But if you want her out of you and your child's life because she's changed her mind, then I hope she finds the presence of mind to fight you in court. Otherwise, I suggest being a mature adult and have an open conversation with her, as she may very well want to be in her daughter's life and it is in your child's best interest you work together. You also seem to not be understanding that your daughter is benefiting from her being around. Even if she leaves one day, the attachment the baby is getting now is still healthy for the baby. You want the mother of the child to leave because you don't want to form a relationship? News story. Bud. You have one for as long as that child is alive. Did you think about she might change her mind and she is actually enjoying the family life? Remember, she is not only your daughter. I kind of gently nudged her the question the other day and she just smiled at me and said something like, "I don't really have to go now. Unless you want me to." I obviously told her that she was welcome to stay as long as she wanted and laughed it off. But as my daughter is growing, my worries that I stated above are becoming worse. Any advice here? First of all, if you don't want her in your life, then tell her so. Don't tell her she can stay as long as she wants if you don't mean it. Sorry to say, but after 4 months it is a little too late for, I don't want her to form a relationship with the child. She already has. And I don't think that your former deal still stands. You should have an open and honest talk about how this relationship is going to progress in the future. You need to have a serious conversation with her. No laughing it off. Sit her down and be honest. Ask her what her intentions are. If she has decided to stay in her daughter's life, or if she still intends on leaving and moving on with her life. Because for your daughter's sake, she needs to decide. Express your concerns on what being in her life and then splitting later on will do to your kiddo. Honestly, sounds like she is having second thoughts. But she needs to communicate with you what's really going on. Is she playing a parental role, or is it all on you and she's just along for the free room and board? Did she sign away her rights already? Has she been showing signs of wanting to stay? You should open a conversation with her about where to go from here, or if you guys are sticking with the original plan. Sounds like she changed her mind and your nudges at a conversation are just confusing matters. Just grow a pair and ask her straight out and have an adult conversation that is open and honest. The only other thing I'd ask is if she is still breastfeeding. Are there physical aspects making her stay that you aren't considering and makes you think she wants to stay, since you both haven't had meaningful conversations about next steps? I may be reading this wrong, but are you like people-pleasing mom by saying she can stay but actually, long story short, you don't want her to? Like, I feel this situation is going to blow up terribly as mom laid out a test, unless you want me to, and you've said she can stay as long as she wants. This feels a lot like you are both on very different pages, and the quicker you get on the same page, the better. Baby is going to have to navigate this parenting situation in any case.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.